Because when I found out some of these statistics, I was mind blown. What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl Amber, and first I want to say happy Women's History Month. Now, because it's Women's History Month, I would love to bring up some subjects of some things that we need to know about. And while they are sensitive topics, they are very necessary to have these conversations. Now, I don't want this video to be taken negatively because some of these statistics are not great, but it's really important for us to understand the negative effects on women in America and the uphill battle that we have ahead. And so if we all share these things with each other and understand it, come together and fight together, we can change these things. So let me drop some random facts and some knowledge on y'all. Now, some of the subjects I'm gonna go over are women athletes, women in their careers, the pay gap, healthcare and lack thereof, and also some HIV prevention resources from Walgreens. So y'all ready for some knowledge? Boom, let's go. Now, the first thing I wanna talk about is women in sports and how unfair it is, and sometimes at the point of disrespectful. Most sports actually do pay women equally, but then there are some that don't. Let's talk about the US women's soccer team and how successful that they've been, but when they take the same ranked player from the women's team to the men's team, the women made $25,000 compared to the man making $246,000. Now I have to talk about the WNBA, and when I found this out, it was pretty frustrating, but what I do know is that there's only a handful of women that make around $115,000, and those are huge players like Skylar Diggins-Smith, Simone Augustus, Brittany Griner, but all the rest of the women make around $70,000. Now, this is an increase because when I was playing basketball and all my friends were playing, they made around $32,000. And if you compare that to the lowest paid player in the NBA, it's $840,000. And that's just disrespectful. But when I did some digging and actually found out why, I found out that the NBA shares 50% of its revenue to pay out players. And the WNBA, only 25% of the revenue goes to paying out players. I mean, we just gotta do better. So now let's talk about healthcare. Now, the US, being compared and contrasted to 10 other similar wealthy countries, came in number one for the most maternal deaths per capita. And within that, Black women were impacted or die 3 to 4 times more than white women do. Black newborn babies are more likely to survive if cared by Black doctors, and 3 times more likely than white babies to die if they're cared for by white doctors. And part of this is because Black people are 9.7% unlikely to be uninsured than white people. And then on top of that, we have doctors that literally have issues with listening and understanding Black women's pain. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. And while we're talking about people being uninsured, there's also a problem with people seeing the doctor and actually going to get tested. And that's why I want to talk about Walgreens and the resources that they have, especially for HIV prevention. While the rates of HIV in the US are decreasing, the epidemic is far from over. And while social distancing has been in effect, that means that fewer people are actually getting tested as a result of COVID-19. And therefore, the potential of transmitting the virus is higher. Many people don't realize that taking PrEP medications can reduce the risk of getting HIV through sex by 99%. And that's why it's so critical to focus on HIV prevention now. Walgreens pharmacists can be a confidential and compassionate resource for HIV testing, consultation, and prevention services. And if you're uninsured or can't afford it, they even have financial assistance programs. I have to shoot a reminder that I am not a healthcare professional at all, but I would love to educate and encourage those to go see a healthcare professional. So let's talk about women in the workforce, because when I found out some of these statistics, I was mind blown. Now, during the pandemic, 4 times as many women left the workforce compared to men. And this is the fewest number of women that have not been in the workforce for decades. It's roughly about 865,000 women leaving the workforce versus 216,000 men. And this is mostly because the coronavirus has disproportionately burdened women of unpaid childcare. So because of that, a lot of women have to stay home with their children, when 44% of women actually reported that they are the sole caretaker of the home, compared to 14% of men that said that they are. Yet 19% of women's jobs are at greater risk than men based on the fields that they work in. So not only are women the main sole provider, but they are losing their jobs, and their jobs are at greater risk, and they don't even get paid as much. And that's mostly because women don't often get the opportunity opportunity to advance or get in executive positions. Now, a lot of you don't know, but in 1972, Katharine Graham was the first woman to be CEO of a Fortune 500 company. That was not that long ago. As of December 2020, there's only been 41 women in that position in Fortune 500 companies. And out of that, there's only 3 women of color on that list. But the issue that I want to raise here and I want to show you guys is that for every dollar generated by privately owned companies, women-owned businesses only account for 30 cents to that dollar. So women, I just want to bring this to your attention because we got some battles to fight here. The pay gap needs to close up. And the more that we're aware of these policies and these petitions that we have to sign to start the battle, the more that we can actually and efficiently fight that battle. So anyways, you guys, I just wanted to drop some of that knowledge on y'all. I hope that this was educational for you guys, but I would love you to add anything that you want to add for this women's history video in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Stay amazing, stay proud, and stay woke. Peace.